now, coming to you live from the tri-state area and San Francisco, California, it's the best part of Wednesday, Waffle Box, with your hosts, Mike Fish and Kush Hayes.
Welcome to Waffle Box, the podcast where we talk about anything, everything, and nothing all at the same time. Coming up on episode 81. Soon you may no longer need a license to thrill in Sweden. We got some Tennessee cops that take the phrase banging them up a little bit too literally. We have a Mile High movie review and so much more. I am Mike Fish and I am joined, as always, by the main man from San Fran. It's Mr. Kush Hayes. Kush, how you doing, buddy?
What's good, y'all? Kush Hayes here, coming to you with another edition of the original Waffle Box. You accept no substitutions because it is the best part of Wednesdays. I'm having a delight, Mike Fish. How are you doing this week?
I am groovy. I have had a fantastic 3-day weekend. Shout out to Mr. Martin Luther King. And I have just been New York Football Giants, baby. First time since 2012, winning a postseason game. Woo, baby. That was a tough one, but thankfully I was in the right place at the right time. I was in my local watering hole to celebrate.
Nice.
And yeah, Danny Dimes, baby. I think we're upgrading Danny Dimes to Danny Dollar Bills, baby. He's doing his thing.
There you go.
How was your weekend?
From diamonds to dollar bills? That's a downgrade, actually.
Well, no, dimes. D-I-M-E-S, dimes.
Oh, dimes.
Yeah.
Dimes to dollars.
Dimes,
yes.
Yeah. How was your weekend?
It was nice. It was nice and mellow. We didn't leave any cookies or milk out for Dr. King, so unfortunately another year of injustice. But we're all right, man. The 49ers also did well. I did not watch that game, but I was also happy to not be working that game because just rain and just all sorts of wet hell coming down upon us. Like, things in this neighborhood are pretty okay. A tree fell down, we had a river for like an hour and then it evaporated. It was fine. But like, I'm watching finally news footage of the rest of the California residents, and it's just like, yeah, we were just sipping tea and then a tree just came through the kitchen. Like, mudslides, part of a highway literally fell into the ocean. It's pretty gnarly, dude. Some folks are still without power, but we're at least okay. And so when I think about like, oh, the kitchen window frame is leaking, I feel a little better. Like, I don't feel so indignant.
I just hope someone thought quickly on their feet, and as soon as the tree came crashing down through the kitchen, someone went, "Oh yeah!"
I understood that reference.
Thanks. Yeah. I wonder how many people do. Before we get into the main meat and potatoes of the show, as I like to say, did you see the slight, very minuscule controversy on Twitter recently?
I mean, there's so many to choose from. You could throw a
dart.
Vague.
It was very vague. Okay, so this certain controversy surrounded around a young lady whose hips don't lie.
Oh, yes.
So Shakira,
former officer Maegan Hall.
Sure. I don't understand that reference.
That's her name.
Oh, right. No. We're not get to that bit yet. We're not talking about Maegan yet.
We're not even
about Shakira.
Shit.
Yeah, no.
Maegan.
Megan's
you're
hips
being way
lie.
too vague, bro. Like,
Megan's hips lie. Every body lies. Filthy girl.
I understand Megan. I understand Maegan Hall's hips are actually very honest, and her and her husband have an understanding. We're gonna get to that later.
Yeah,
what is Miss Shakira doing?
So Shakira apparently got upset. So apparently her boyfriend, husband, I don't know, PK. He's a Spanish soccer player. Oh. And apparently, I think I didn't really look too much into it. Apparently, she believes he cheated on her. So she wrote like a diss track about him. And in the diss track, she was basically talking about how could you go from me to this gank? And she said, like, basically, it's like downgrading from a Rolex to a Casio, right?
Yeah, I agree with that 1,000%.
Well, so just because this is what I do, I always try to make a joke out of everything. So I tweeted, hey, Shakira, I don't know much about the watch game, but has Rolex ever made a watch that's also a calculator? I don't think so. So put some respect back on Casio's name. Thankfully, it got quite a few likes, but there was one or two Shakira fans who did not appreciate my input onto the subject.
Oh,
boy. You don't understand, man. Maybe you should stick it. It's a joke. Seriously, look at I'm defending Casio by literally putting up a picture of a calculator watch. You really think I'm on that? That's what I always forget. Sometimes you fuck with celebrities, the super fans. They come for you.
The super fans, or just the fanatics, not necessarily the fans. The fanatics come out. Yeah. So I was totally expecting like something to come out like, oh, not only is this chick that he's cheating on Shakira with actually hotter, but it's this lady. And then be like, wow, no way, that chick is way super hotter. But yeah, the fanatic, it's to the point where you're just like, I don't want to engage on social media anymore. I also had a similar situation, not with Shakira, but someone had to give their 2 cents, and so I just tried to engage them in a dialogue, and they ended up just like imploding on themselves. It's like, oh wow, that's I'm not sure that's how you thought that was going to go, buddy.
It was just yeah, sometimes where you just think, this will be funny to tweet. I'll put this out. What's the worst that could happen? And it's like, oh yeah, it's Twitter. I forgot. I just never understood. Like, I'm big fans of some celebrities, I guess, but I just don't understand the level where some people literally sit there all day and I guess have alerts on their phone with someone mentioned your favorites and what are they saying? I need to defend them. It's like, dude, Shakira's not seeing your tweet. Relax.
In the case of Shakira, like, she's got so many fans that only like a couple of them need to have just searched her name, and then your tweet is literally right there in front of their face at the top. And then, of course, it bumps down because everyone else is still talking about Shakira. But it's not just celebrity; it's also just current events and hot button political issues. Like you put your opinion out there, someone's gonna make you regret that immediately. You put out a joke about Shakira, oh, they're not having that. They must defend the queen at all costs. Like,
who are the ones that are really Ariana Grande? I imagine she has some nuts around her. And what's that?
I understand Beyonce's people will tear you up. Yeah.
BTS. I know BTS. I bet they've got
BTS.
Some nuts.
That's the Korean pop boy band.
Yeah, but now some of them have gone to do their army service, so they're one or two of them.
I heard about that shit too. Good for them.
Yeah, gotta make money.
I mean, they could have. I'm sure they could have bought their way out of it, but they didn't. So,
no, you can't. They take it very seriously. Apparently, so there was a very famous soccer player, Korean soccer player. He just about, because there's like loopholes. Like if you achieve certain things, they'll let you out of it. So I think because South Korea reached a certain stage in a tournament, he got let off or something. It's crazy. I don't know.
Okay. Yeah. Let's not dive into that pool. I was just saying, good for BTS. So.
Good for BTS. They're real up and coming go getters. I think they'll do well. I could see
seem like nice boys.
Sky has a limit. Oh yeah, they seem nice, but the fans passionate. Let's just say that
passionate. Okay.
Speaking of passionate people, now we're gonna get into old Maegan. We go to Tennessee for our first story, where the good, fine boys in blue that said they'll protect and serve, while these young fellas and gals maybe misheard that and thought it was to protect and perv. Because, boy, howdy, did they get up to shit. It's like some Benny Hill sketch over there. So, Laverne police officers, 5 of them were fired. Now, this story is great. So 5 of them were fired this week as part of an ongoing investigation into multiple sexual events between members of the department's evening shift. Like, I'm wondering if, like, the day shift people are like, what the fuck? What? So, what, am I fucking ugly right now? What the fuck?
Day shift is totally jealous. That's probably how this whole thing started.
Yeah, one of the day shift heard about it and was like, bitch, I'm gonna.
What about me? Huh? What about me? And she's probably just like, I've been up all night banging cops and robbers. Like, I'm going home to my husband. Next time, Lenny.
Oh, my jaw hurts.
And Lenny took that personally.
So a city spokesperson told WSMV4, which I think some of these local TV networks need to come up with catchier names. 3 other officers were placed on unpaid suspension under the same investigation. So basically, this investigation started on December 12th last year when Mayor Jason Cole reported rumors of the sexual acts to the city's Human Resources Department, according to a shocking investigative report obtained by WMSV. So what happened basically is Officer Maegan Hall was having intimate relationships with other members of the Laverne Police Department. All of the men admitted to having undisclosed sexual relationships with Hall. So apparently, is it a rule that if you bang another police officer, you have to let the boss know? I don't know.
It's a human resources thing in most companies, actually. And it's to protect against sexual harassment suits, or like, is this going to be a thing from now on, or was this a one-time thing? And they would like to get that on the record. It rarely ever does, though, unless like a baby's coming or something, of course.
Yeah, leave the babies out of this. So
That's how this starts.
So Shields, who apparently is one of the police officers, guys. Yeah, doesn't say his first name, but benefits. Maybe. Shields told city officials that Maegan Hall performed oral sex on him while they were on duty inside the police department gym before returning to their desks to finish the work day. Now, I get that. That's you can't be, I guess, doing that while you're on duty. You're supposed to be, looking out for the fine folks in the town. So maybe that's the issue. But then it continues. Well, I guess for me, it gets a little bit silly, if I'm going to be honest. So the report also uncovered a quote unquote girls gone wild type party, which I'm wondering in 2023, do you reckon many people get the girls gone wild references? Like that seems
yes, like and it's the equivalent of I found my dad's Playboys under his mattress. I found my dad's Girl Gone Wild videos. He would still have to find a DVD player, but I'm sure several homes still have. So yeah, I bet Girls Gone Wild is still a recognizable reference.
But yeah, the report here, so it sounds like it was written by a very prudish person. I don't have the name of the person that wrote the article for WSMV.
Sterile.
Because it's like, so the report uncovered a girls gone wild type party involving multiple officers and their families in a hot tub on the police sergeant's houseboat. Which, what's the problem with that?
I want to.
They're all adults.
These people.
They're on a boat.
These are the only cops I want to hang out with.
And then it goes, the report says that Maegan's top came off and officers were drinking. Okay.
Oh my. Ooh.
The investigative report has multiple mentions of sexual acts being performed at the department's substation. Again, that's naughty. You can't be doing it at work. Officers participating in open marriages with each other and sending explicit photos between officers. The report also said officers held football watch parties where officers drove under the influence of alcohol. Right, that's bad. Don't do that.
That's not good, guys. That's the first one I'm shaking my finger about.
And then they even at these football watch parties. Now, I'm just gonna give everyone a warning real quick, because if you're, so far, I appreciate, we've talked about, BJs and hops coming off and drinking, but I want everyone to be listening to this or watching this sit down, because it's going to get pretty shocking right now, okay? And you'll understand as soon as you hear this, you'll be like, oh my gosh, you know what? I'm glad these police officers were fired. I hope they never get another job. I hope they don't even get a paper round. This is how bad these people are. My gosh, I want them off the streets. This report uncovered that at these football watch parties, people were kissing. Oh, how dare you?
On each other or in a toilet?
Said they kissed
in the back.
They kissed and discussed having threesomes with Maegan Hall and their wives. But this
all right, article, so the wives are into this too. I like this.
Yeah, exactly. So this article is just like one of these many times.
Tennessee, dude.
This is now episode 81. I feel that at least 50+% of these, I make mention that whoever's writing these articles obviously has like a character limit where they're like, I need to flesh this article out.
Oh yeah, the boss told me I got to put in 500 words. Go, 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 go. Not a
like,
very big one.
I get the sexual acts while they're on duty at the station. Naughty. Drinking whilst under the influence. Naughty. Other than that, Other than that, who gives a shit if they're at each other's house watching football and kissing each other? Why is that the last thing in the article? As if to say, you haven't heard anything yet. Ridiculousness.
What you're saying is they should have flipped it around. We're like, you start out with the football watch parties and then going to and then they were drinking and driving and then they were blowing each other on the. I don't know much about being a cop, but I do know that it's not a 9-to-5 job, and I do know that it's like 12 to 15-hour days, and there's no overtime with whatever their shift is supposed to be. So yeah, I get them banging on. Not only banging on duty, but banging on property. But you know what? This is gonna be gross, but like an emergency could come up and they could be on the shitter too. It takes the same amount of effort to pull up your pants and hopefully flush that Johnny. But yeah.
Well, yeah, if anything, it's
there was a
easier
thing that happened in Sacramento. A similar situation, fire department, one woman, five other firefighters. Thank you.
I think I've seen this video.
That they all got fired, but yeah, like in that situation, like yeah, they're on duty, but like they're also there for like 72 hours, and nothing. It's a super slow day. Like not even a cat got stuck in a tree. Like who cares what they're doing? You know, as long as they stop and fight the fire or whatever. So yeah, the only thing this story has made me want to do, Mike Fish, is actually visit Laverne, Texas, Tennessee.
Yeah.
Like I think this place actually has a real possibility of becoming like a swingers holiday spot.
Well, now we just need to, because there's no point going there right now, because it's not like you can, all right, I'll commit a minor offense and then hope Maegan's on duty, because she's gone now. She's gone. So you have to
also, this is the best place to commit a minor offense. There's short 6 cops. Like you can do anything you want, man. It's free reign. The odds of that is now like
there's a call coming in, Benno. I'm almost there. I'm almost there.
No, man, they're short 6. They're short staffed now. Like those cops can't be everywhere at once. Like you can do pretty much anything you want. Again.
Yeah, you reckon there's at least one guy in there who snitched? And now whenever
someone
they're having
definitely snitched.
whenever they're having like a slow day, like one of the other cops is like looking over at him like, I could
You
be getting
motherfucker.
blown right now, you fucking
Could be getting
asshole.
blown right now, dude. Said you got me here fucking doing jump ropes and calisthenics. Yeah, dude. So yeah, someone definitely snitched, but it happened because one, they either got slighted. They were that 1 in 25th dude who got slighted for whatever reason, or that dude who got to experience it and was talking mad shit to all the other boys, and then like just the game of telephone, it just snowballed into something bigger, and finally got to the mayor's office.
Or he was one
Small
of the
town, by
early
the way.
he was one of the ones involved,
That's what
but
I'm saying.
he was one of the only ones whose wife wasn't into it. And so he was like, fuck. Now I have to be like, oh, now. So imagine maybe it wasn't one of the officers, maybe it was one of the officers' wives who just stormed down to the station. Where's Maegan? You homewrecker.
No, I got a feeling all the wives are on board with this. For some reason, if they don't know, they're the ones that do are on board with this. I don't know why. I'm not like trying to create a fantasy or nothing. Like I'm trying to be serious here. Like my intuition is telling me like the five other wives in this, they're down with it. Like still an intense job. Like Laverne, Tennessee, sounds like a shoebox. All right, but like they still have all the same dangers there. It's a lot of adrenaline running around that locker room, dude. Like
Well, yeah.
those wives are probably happy that their husbands are banging the shit out of this woman and leaving them alone. Like, oh my god, like it's a fucking animal.
Also, I don't want to judge anyone, but you know, like when you hear something about a person and then you kind of look at them, you're like, like when you hear, like if anyone Googles Maegan Hall or Officer Maegan Hall going in, and you know, okay, she was like, there's 5 that were fired, but there's more been suspended. So she was literally banging everyone at that police station, pretty much.
Good for her.
And then you Google and you do the image search and you see a picture of her, you kind of like,
Not a bad looking lady, dude.
no, but you also you like, yeah, but I can buy it. I bet she looks like that kind of girl. You know what I mean? She looks like the fun one at the party.
Mm-hmm.
So hey, so I salute you, Maegan Hall. But
like I would like to know where her
stress
record
levels
is.
down at the
like,
PD.
Like, what is her arrest record? How many criminals has she sent away? How many man years has she accumulated over the year? Not being funny, like and like, was this worth it? Like, what if she was the best cop in the organization? What if she was in the top 10?
Here,
Same for these other 5 gentlemen. Break it down.
Here's my guess is where she goes from here, though. If she's smart and she wants to capitalize on this fame, she needs to have set up an OnlyFans like yesterday.
Probably set one up 3 days ago.
Maybe someone else at the Serious World can look that up. I'm not gonna, or maybe I'll do an incognito search. Maybe I don't know. But just for research, research for the podcast. I'm not into that kind
you
of.
You should do it through a VPN. And then speaking of VPNs, VPN is the worldwide. But never mind.
Yeah, we're not sponsored by. We're one of the few podcasts that isn't sponsored by a VPN. We're not sponsored by some bull shavers. What else?
Or stamps.com.
Or Blue Chew. Whatever.
That's all right.
At least we're pure. Talking about sex for the 3rd week in a row. Next up,
coming up,
Sweden. We travel to Sweden.
More sex.
Of a kind, I guess. So Sweden, what comes to mind when you think of Sweden? Huh?
Lots of sex.
Yeah. You think of beautiful people. You think of just people, everyone being happy and having a good time because they're Swedish and they're blonde and they're beautiful. So I saw this little trending article and I was like, what? this doesn't make any sense. So in Sweden, so thankfully, these rules might be changing, but Kush Hayes, I'm going to put you in the mindset. Now, I appreciate you're not familiar with Swedish laws, but let's just say you're in San Francisco. Let's just put you in San Francisco, right?
Well, I am in San Francisco,
yeah.
so
thanks. Yeah, so easy to get yourself into character. So imagine you are about to set up a bar, right? You're opening up a bar. You've got a bunch of money. You're opening up your own bar. What are the things? There we go. Make it rain. What are the things that you need to prepare to be able to legally open your fine establishment?
You got to have your liquor license, 1,000%.
Yep.
Oh, more? You need a bar staff.
Sure. All right. Okay. Let's say
we're talking about legal stuff.
Yeah. What if you want to serve
your
food?
Business permit,
your health permits and
business permits. You need your health code permits. Yeah.
So, as of right now, let's just say you have a fine establishment. People are enjoying themselves, drinking. There's music playing, and a police officer walks or drives past, peers into the window, and sees even just one of your patrons doing a little bit of a shimmy, dancing, boogieing. That police officer has the right to come in, ask to speak to the owner, and demand to see their dance license. In Sweden, if you want to have people dancing in your bar, you have to get a separate license. What?
So that's a cabaret license out here in San Francisco.
Wait, they have it in San Francisco as well?
The cabaret license, it allows you to have live events. You can have a band on stage. You can have someone telling jokes, but you can have a DJ and people dancing. So it's a cabaret license. I get it.
Well, it literally says
But you can't stop people from dancing. People could just be dancing. But if it's like, hey, this isn't like a random occurrence that I just literally walked into on, like, no, this you do this every night. So it's a cabaret license.
Yeah, the wording here is so the Sweden's center-right coalition government wants to cut red tape when it comes to dancing by abolishing a decade-old, so it's only come in like 10 years ago, requirement for restaurants, nightclubs, and other venues to obtain permits before they let patrons dance. The proposal made Thursday means that venues no longer would need a license to organize dances. Instead, as a general rule, they would only need to register with the police. So they still have to go to the police department, like, hey, some of our customers are going to have a dance. Okay, thanks for letting us. Like, why? Why is that a rule? Why is that a law?
But I can't imagine that you're at the Swedish meatball shop, meatballs, and just it's nothing fancy. It's 8 tables, but I can't imagine just some chick just getting up and just shaking her ass, because the meatballs were that good, disturbing the people to the right and left of them. Like, this is literally for folks that are trying to open up a nightclub or something. It's definitely a specific license. Well, this isn't going to happen at the Blue Danube coffee shop.
No, but applying for a permit incurs a fee of at least 700 krona, which roughly translates to $67 for the establishment. As it is now, But as it is now, owners can lose their liquor license and business license if police officers come by and find out that a venue did not have authorization to let patrons dance. So
yeah.
No, even if it is just nightclubs that worry about, but so people can drink the night away, and that's fine. But if they're dancing, what is it? No, that's kind of German. That's not going to do accents. But what the fuck?
One, I'm more surprised about learning that kronas and crowns are two different things. Kronas are probably their cents. I get it. Yeah, $67. It's not that difficult. I used to work as a civil servant in the mayor's office. Okay, and guess what?
Boo.
Like though
Down
you
with the
come in and you want to
man.
get a down with a man. You come in and you want to open up a business. You got to get your business registration, but they're also going to tell you like, so here's a list. You have to go to this office and pay this much. You have to go to this office and pay this much. And you have to go to this office and pay this much. And that's just thinking about starting the business. Okay. Like you don't even have to earn one penny. But if you want to think about this business and hopefully execute it, whether you do or not, that's on you. You have to do A, B, and C and D in that order. And like if you want to do business, there's a cost to it. So yeah, all this makes sense to me. It's weird that Sweden caught up to it only now.
Well, I want to know what happened 10 years ago when someone decided to bring this rule in.
Yeah, that would be interesting to know what the cause of this was. Again, maybe it is some chick just like these Swedish meatballs. They just call them meatballs over there. These are the shit. And then she just started shaking her ass. Sorry, folks, you can't see me shaking my ass out of frame. That's an OnlyFans account, which if you subscribe, you'll get exclusive content directly for you.
Maybe we should do that.
Chocolate starfish.
Like, not, just have instead of a Patreon, just have an OnlyFans, but it's just literally a video of us doing podcasts. No
other
nudity.
People do. The vast majority of OnlyFans is pornography, but when those guys came up with it, it was literally just like, what if Rachel Ray, probably a bad reference, wants to like sell some recipes?
I told you about the
worst reference.
The wrestling podcast that uploads their videos to Pornhub, right? That shit's funny.
Yes, I remember that now. Yeah,
again,
those
zero
guys
nudity.
Are just thinking outside of the box.
It's just sticking it on you. Maybe we should have put these last couple of episodes on Pornhub. We're talking about Pornhub's top 10. We're talking about the sex dolls in Korea.
We still can. Views. It just has to be edited, Mike Fish, but we still can.
Now you got the wheels turning now. And then that kind of gets then it's like, if I get caught, why are you on Pornhub? Just uploading my podcast. I'm a good boy.
It's a podcast. It's just a podcast.
Then I don't have to delete any internet browsing history anymore. It's just do my job. Just do my job.
Just checking the numbers.
Yep.
Wifey, just checking the numbers.
Oh, I meant to type in Waffle Box podcast and it's autocorrect.
It's the same number of letters, bitch. It's the same number of letters. Stop crucifying me.
Went to neuro massage. How did that happen? Anyway, check that out. Right, before we wrap up this first half, it's now time to talk about people who are achieving things with their lives. Not like us, talking about uploading a podcast to Pornhub. These people are actually doing something with their life. It's now time for this week's Dumb World Record of the Week.
Why?
Why? Why would I? Why? Why?
Why? Why? Why? Why? Why would you want to do that?
Okay. This week's Dumb World Records takes us to the Czech Republic, where apparently they have a TV show called Lo Show de Record, which I don't speak Czech, but I'm going to assume that roughly translates into like the record show.
The world record.
Something like that. So this guy, Rene Richter, took home the world record. Oh, no, sorry. It was a Czech Republic man, shows in Italy. Doesn't really make that much difference. I'm still pretty sure it still translates to the record show or the Low Show Dire record.
Those guys are so close on the map. Like they're that far apart.
But this guy used his gnashes, as we say in England, to show off his powerful strength by beating the world record for most drink cans bitten in half in 1 minute.
Oh.
Yes.
So most soda cans cut in half, like he just bites into it and tears it.
So for the video, but he basically takes the can, or I'll describe it as well
Okay.
for the audio listeners.
Yeah,
Takes the
please.
can in his hand like this, and literally goes, oh, grips on it with his
into
teeth,
the aluminum,
tears it, and then rips it in half.
Oh my god. So that sounds like so many bloody lips.
Oh, I was going to say
So many
that must
gums.
hurt.
I mean, he's clearly built up a tolerance for it. If maybe he hasn't. Who knows? Maybe he just
at the end of the
broke
minute,
the
it's
record.
Like, looks like a vampire. It's just had his dinner. Like,
Literally, someone dared him at a party. He did it. Somehow managed to break the record. But yeah, like he's just blood is just pouring down the front of his chest. Yeah, that's the only thing that concerns me. Like, so how many cans do you do? Do we know this, Mike Fish? Or
fella, in 60 seconds, he ripped 36 aluminum cans.
What the fuck?
So more than
what I'm seeing is like he's got
one every 2 seconds.
He's
just
more
like
than
chomping
that,
on him.
I think. But like people are like literally have to like be passed or like have to be putting him in his mouth.
Which I don't know whether, because I've watched the video, and if you want, Google it, because I'm not going to find it again because I'm far too lazy for that. But
yeah,
he's either very hyped about doing this, or maybe our thoughts were correct in that he is like just cutting up his gums, because every time he does another one, it's like, ah, ah. So I think maybe he's in incredible pain or he's just very happy, but it was an intense 60 seconds of my life that I'm never going to get back.
Empty or full?
They were filled with water for this attempt.
Still, so the cans have not been opened. He's literally
I believe they had. They were open, but they were filled with water.
Fascinating. Now I want to Google it, but that's for another time. This is all still crazy because this man is still chomping into the thinnest of aluminum, but still aluminum. Like you can cut yourself on some Reynolds wrap. Just paper. Thank you. Yes, 1000%, Mike Fish, and much less. So, yeah, I can't imagine him getting out of this any attempt, without just cutting the shit out of his lips and his gums, his tongue probably too.
He's just like, I'm a record breaker.
I'm a little record holder now, baby. Thank you.
I'm kind of feeling a little faint. I've lost quite a bit of blood. I'm gonna take a little nap now.
You got him dying. Damn.
No, just having a nap. He's fine in my imagination. So yeah, shout out to Rene Richter.
You're a fucking savage. Yeah.
Really strong jawline and beautiful teeth and more time on his hands. God, you have to imagine his teeth are pretty strong as well. Otherwise, they
have to be, right?
Yeah. Maybe he's like what was his
dentist is his favorite person.
Is it Jaws from James Bond?
I understand the reference. Yes.
Maybe he cheated.
Ooh. Yeah, what if he's just got a fucking metal grill in there?
The people want to know.
We're gonna have to Google that then. So we've gone too far down this rabbit hole. But hey, Waffle Box Squad, Syrup Squad.
There we go.
Let us know. Hit us up on Twitter at WaffleboxPod.
Do the damn thing.
Or I feel like our other emails are out there too. Like, just get at us, man. Shit.
Enjoywafflebox@gmail.com. There we go. That's the official email address. Enjoywafflebox@gmail.com. Still to come. Of course, we're taking someone out of existence in the Trapdoor segment. We have a Mile High movie review with Kush talking about the most boringly titled movie Plane. Like, seriously, they could have come up with something better than that. Feel good story and so much more. But until then, stick with us and we'll be back after this short break.
If you've never tried our chicken rondelettes, you're missing a real treat.
Mighty good, Mr. Weaver.
Because we think our chicken rondelettes are the best tasting chicken patties you can buy. You see, they're made with juicy, tender, farm-fresh chicken in a thin, crisp breading.
Mighty good, Mr. Weaver.
And you can make lots of great meals with them.
Mighty good, Mr. Weaver.
If our chicken rondelettes weren't good, we wouldn't put the Weaver name on them.
Mighty good, Mr. Weaver.
It's now time for the middle of the show quiz.
Hey, welcome back to Waffle Box, episode 81. Giddy gosh. We're so close to triple digits, and that's when the real fun begins, I guess. It is the middle of the show quiz.
So much fun.
So much fun. Middle of the show, so it's time for the middle of the show quiz. This week, we have a aero theme quiz, since Kush is talking about the movie Plane. I looked up some movies that are also about planes. And this week's quiz is going to be a quote themed. So, middle of the show quiz, if you haven't joined us before, I'm going to ask Kush Hayes 5 questions. Name of the game is obviously to answer at least 3 out of 5, if not 5 out of 5. If he gets the answer correct, he hears this noise. And that makes him happy. Look at his happy face. And if he hears this noise, that means he got the answer wrong. And that makes him sad. So sad. Simple. So yeah, so like I said, I'm going to read off 5 quotes from movies about planes. And you've just got to tell me which movie they came from. Some might be a little bit easy. Some might be a little tricky. But here we go. Are you ready, Mr. Hayes?
I feel confident I'm going to at least get 2 of these tonight. Like 2 very specific ones. And if they're not in this quiz, I'm going to be very disappointed. But I am ready, sir. Let us do this.
Quote number 1. Ow! Get this fucking snake up my ass.
A movie I was not expecting, but should have thought about too. Snakes on a Plane.
It's a good warm up. It's a good warm up.
Yeah.
Quote number 2.
Feeling much better here.
Funny thing is, I've delivered 1 million passengers over 40 years in the air, and in the end, I'll be judged on 208 seconds.
Flight.
That one was Sully.
Sully. Shit.
Sully.
I was thinking of the Denzel Washington movie. Damn it.
The famous one where the guy who took off from JFK and was like, "Oh, drop me wallet," and went to get it and crash landed in the Hudson River. Quote number 3. Listen, and you listen close. Flying a plane is no different than riding a bicycle. Just a lot harder to put baseball cards in the spokes.
I feel like I just watched that movie the other day. And by the other day, probably a month ago.
How many other movies about planes have you watched recently, other than Plane?
They come up. They come up.
Right.
And the bicycle spokes thing was very recent. I'm gonna say Drop Zone. Damn.
The movie was Airplane.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I could have went with the obvious one, Shirley's and all that stuff. I thought, yeah, let's go with that.
Sure.
All right, now, pressure's on. You're 1 and 2 right now. Quote number 4. Your national security advisor has just been executed. He's a very good negotiator. He bought you another half hour. There might be some clues in that quote, if you think about it.
Die Hard 2.
Yeah, the famous...
Oh, Air Force One?
Yeah, I'll give you that one. But Die Hard's not a movie about a plane. Jesus.
Well, wait, so did I get it for Die Hard 2 or for
No,
Air
you got it
Force
for Air
1?
Force One. Die Hard.
All right.
There is
Thank
no...
you.
I'll spot it. I'll give you a hint. Die Hard is not quote number 5 either.
Oh, thank you.
Or Fight Club. Or other random movies that apparently you think are based around planes. Quote number 5. I've got a better idea. Take me flying. Or better yet, I'll take you flying. Do your worst, Miss Hepburn.
The Aviator.
You win.
Way to go. How's my voice acting? Was I good? Was I in character?
That was great. That was great. I've not seen The Aviator, so the fact that I got that from your lead, it tells me that you're a fantastic actor, Mike Fish.
I've never seen it either.
So,
couldn't even tell you who's in it.
I honestly thought your Air Force One reference would have been "Get off my plane." That was what I thought. That's the reference people know. That's what people know.
It's a
I'm
quiz,
also
man. You don't really make it
disappointed
easy.
that you didn't use Passenger 57's "Always Bet on Black." Again, that's the quote everyone knows. So, and then going back to your airplane one, that's how wild that script was. So the story about Airplane, the movie, was they just took a script from some other movie like in the early 60s, late 50s, and then only inserted a couple jokes, but everything else is like word for word. Even gave that guy a script credit. So that's why that your title there came off that dramatic. I was like, whoa. Oh, is it that thing I totally got wrong? Oh, I guess that's why I got it wrong. All right. Anyways,
The tough thing
this was a great
Airplane,
quiz, Mike.
so many good quotes in that.
Oh, yeah.
Nervous? Yes. Your first time? No, I've been nervous plenty of times.
Well, so yeah, you were right to go with the dramatic quote, because if you went the comedy quote, didn't matter what comedy quote, I was just like, Airplane?
It's
I
comedy.
don't think you use Airplane. Yeah. But I still won.
You did, and that's the main
Hooray!
thing. You're a winner.
I am a winner. I haven't won in a while. I feel good about that. Puts that cash right in that pocket there.
Good, and your picture's caught up as well, which is nice. You're now no longer a blurry blob, which is nice.
Oh,
it's kind of freaking me out.
I hope I wasn't terribly blurry. Sorry, bud.
It's all right. It's all right. I thought you was like a ghost or something. Oh my god, have I
Much
been doing
like
a
my
podcast
feelings,
with
my
folks?
internet is unstable.
Yeah. Well, if only someone would have warned you about that several times. Anyway.
Someday.
It's now time to take someone out of existence, because as we always say, this planet's goddamn too populated. So it's now time for this week's Trapdoor segment. Trapdoor segment. So again, what we do here each and every week, I give Kush Hayes not 1, not 2, not 3, but 4 celebrity names, and he has to decide which one doesn't belong anymore, has run its course, and we can take them out of existence. Even though maybe some comes easy for him, he does have to show his working. Each week we have driven down the alphabet, and this week we've stopped at the letter N. More specifically, Neils. There's too many people named Neil, and so we're going to get rid of them. So, your four are Neil Flynn.
Oh.
If you're not familiar with Neil Flynn's work, he was the janitor from Scrubs and also the dad from The Middle.
That guy. Yeah, I know that guy.
Neil deGrasse Tyson, who's famous for going on podcasts and talking about space and shit. Neil Patrick Harris, who's famous for How I Met Your Mother, and also famous for many 50-plus people going, oh, I didn't know he was gay. And number 4, Neil Diamond. Ooh. So it's Neil Flynn, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Neil Patrick Harris, and Neil Diamond. Show your work. Wow. Which one of these has spent his last day on this planet?
Well, as we do on this show and in this segment, we don't just tell you the answer right away, Mike Fish. We go up the chain of the ladder, and thankfully we can spoil it. We're going to go in the order we're going to go in. Don't worry about it. Neil Diamond. Safe.
Neil Diamond.
He's an artist. He's not going anywhere. We need more from Neil Diamond. I only know like a couple of his songs.
Caroline.
The most played karaoke song ever, Sweet Caroline. That's why we can't get rid of Neil Diamond, because if we do, Sweet Caroline is only going to be like the request for that is going to go up 5 times, if not 50 times, man.
It's true.
Like, yeah, everyone's gonna be like, I gotta do my Neil Diamond tribute, bro. All right, and everyone will play into it, but then you're gonna go to the karaoke bar and you're gonna hear Sweet Caroline like 5 times that night. You already hear it 3 times. Let's save you the agony, folks. Come on, it's all right. Neil Diamond, you're safe. Neil Patrick Harris, aka NPH, very funny dude. Also, a magician. He's also known for more than How I Met Your Mother. He got his start on Doogie Howser, MD, which is where I originally know him from. And he also had that period where everyone was like, based in by your guess, I'm guessing folks are still doing it today, like, oh, he's gay? Like, yeah, it was one of the things like, NPH is a good dude. Leave him alone. If he's gay, he's gay. Shut up, TMZ. And then guess what? Spoiler alert, TMZ was 100% correct. You're just like, you should have left him alone, TMZ. NPH is a good people. So, NPH, you're not going anywhere, buddy. I only want to see you do more magic. Barney Stinson, great. Doogie Howser, whatever. But I want to see you do more magic, dude. There we go. Neil deGrasse Tyson. Someone has to make James Cameron re-edit his movies from 20 years ago with just the constellation. So guess what? Neil NDT, you're good too. You're not going anywhere, bro.
Giving everyone their initials.
I shouldn't say bro. Sir, professor, doctor, professor, sir. You're not going anywhere. And then we get to our man Neil Flynn. Yeah, man. You were great on Scrubs. I love watching that dude bully JT. Like, it's JD. Amazing that JD. Okay.
Yeah, he left Justin Timberlake alone.
I know a different JT, but anyways, yeah, JD. I forget that gentleman's actual real name, but yeah, he next to Dr. Cox, he got all the best ones on him. So yeah, but unfortunately, it's the minimalist of work. Again, Neil Diamond.
Zach Braff. There we go.
Oh, every night. I don't know.
JD.
That's okay.
His real name is Zach Braff.
Zach Braff. Cool. Zach Braff used to date what's her name from the Don't Worry Darling. And anyway, don't worry about that. Good for him.
Idea. Good for him.
We're dropping Neil Flynn though.
Aww.
Sorry, sir. Rest in pieces.
That hospital's gonna be a nightmare now. It's gonna be so filthy. Hope you're
Oh,
proud of
sorry.
yourself.
I ain't mad at myself, especially with this list you gave me. Yeah, no, I think I made the right decision. Did I make the right decision? Check us out at Waffle Box Pod on Twitter.
Indeed, indeed. Speaking of sitcom actors of the homosexual variety, it reminded me when you was talking, when we were talking about Neil deGrasse Tyson, Neil Patrick Harris. I remember. Please don't sue me. You know how like mothers always say stuff, and you're always like, "Oh God." So I'm talking about the show, Modern Family.
Oh, yeah, great show.
Great show. And obviously there's the gay couple in it. There's the brother and his boyfriend. And my mother, obviously, I don't know how she did this research or how she came to find this, but she said, and I quote once, she was like, "Oh, my favorite character is the chubby one. Did you know he's not actually gay?" I was like, "Oh, good. I'm happy." What, he's acting? How crazy.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, in this day and age, you literally have to be the character you're playing. You can't just like try anything. You, Mike Fish, can't just be a gay character anymore. No, you have to be gay in real life, bro. You have to suck all those fucking cocks or whatever.
Well, Harvey Weinstein's behind bars now.
Wildly,
so that's gone.
Offensive. Even for me, that was offensive. I'm sorry.
It's all right. You get one every year, I guess.
Okay. Wow. Oh, geez. I got 48 more weeks to go.
Yeah. You used your token early January. That was a mistake. We live and learn as humans. We live and learn.
My bad.
All right, let's talk about a movie now. Starring that guy from That Thing, who's always in an action movie, and also starring that guy who was in that Marvel show that got cancelled. It's Sister Hicks, Kush's movie review.
Kush's movie review.
In a movie named after Ned Flanders' favorite popsicle flavor, it's plain. Kush.
That was well done.
Thanks.
So this is a review about a movie named Plane. And off the top, this is a very entertaining movie. This is very enjoyable. I was on the edge of my seat most of the time here. But in regards to the movie, if we were reviewing this in France, Mike Fish, it would be called Mayday. If we were in one of the Latin regions of South America, it would be called Alerta Extrema. And if we were just in Spain, coming back to Europe, it would just be called El Piloto. I think you can do the math on all of these things, but any one of them is a much better title for a movie like this than
I feel like, especially in France, that the distributors got hold of it. And they were like, what's this movie about a plane called? Oh, it's called Plane. Oh, yeah, we're not using that. That's terrible. We'll come up with our own one.
My biggest mystery for this movie is, how did we get to Plane? This is an American production, despite it having as many international reaches as it does. And what I mean by that is our character Mike Colton, he's Mike Coulter. You know him from the Marvel Netflix Luke Cage. He played Luke Cage, and he was great in that. In this one, he plays a man who at a very young age murdered a guy. Totally admits he did it. It was 15 years ago, and he escaped the authorities by joining the French Foreign Legion. So through most of this movie, kind of speaks with the mildest of a French accent.
So what, he votes on the Grammy Awards?
I don't understand that reference, but
okay, I found this on the web for Wait So He What He Votes on the Grammy Awards. Check it out.
That was Siri popping in. That was
whoa.
I know.
Wow.
Right? What the hell? That was
terrifying.
It was kind of terrifying. No, French Foreign Legion, French Foreign Hollywood Press. It's a terrible joke. Anyway,
I'm sorry. I didn't get that reference.
Next time I'll just let Siri pop in.
That's all right. That's all right. This movie is a hard R, and by hard R, well, we let a lot of F-bombs drop, but when it comes to like blood spatter, there's a couple, running eyebrows. There's a gash on someone's forehead, but there's not a lot of blood in this. There's definitely no sex in this. But everything is still made intense. This was written by a gentleman named where is my notes here? Charles Cumming. He actually has a vast resume of novels. He's a novelist. Does a lot of spy stuff, does some criminal stuff, but this is the first story he's written originally to be a movie. And the director is a French director, and because I have to read this, Jean-Francois Richet, and most folks watching this podcast aren't going to know his name. However,
most people hosting this podcast aren't familiar with his work.
That's okay.
At least 50% of them.
I'm going to let you know where you might know his work. If you saw the 2005 remake of Assault on Precinct 13, that's a John Carpenter movie. That's this dude. He remade that movie in 2005.
I might have actually watched.
He's done other stuff since that, but it's all been back in France. All right. So we got as we said, Mike Coulter is a part of this, Gerard Butler, and then Evan Dane Taylor, who plays the notorious June Mar.
June Mar,
Filipino warlord on this one island in the cluster of the Philippine Islands in the Johto region, as they like to repeat in this, which I may have still just botched the name of. I'm sorry, we've been drinking all night. But it is an area where it is so overrun with thieves and thugs and warlords and just all of the most undesirables that the Philippine army, they ain't gonna come in. So when our plane, the titular plane, is struck by lightning and we have to land on this island, that's not the worst part that happens. The worst part is dealing with the fucking warlord.
Warlords can tend to be a pain in the ass.
They can be a pain in the ass. Our guy Gerard
sticking their nose in other people's businesses.
He's got some military experience, but he's mostly a dude who just wants to fly a fucking plane. Like, he knows how to take care of himself, but he'd rather be enjoying a cocktail and flying the fucking plane and not being on this island where he doesn't know if the company that he works for even knows where he is. At one point during the storm, like, the radio breaks out, GPS craps out, it's all bad. If you have a phobia about plane crashes, this is not the movie for you, because this shit was terrifying. For a full 10 minutes, I was literally digging my fingernails into the fucking armrests because this shit was insane, dude. Like, no es bueno.
Question is, because obviously a phobia is an irrational fear.
Mm-hmm.
Is plane crashes really a phobia?
Yes.
I don't know. It just feels like to me, it's like, what phobias you have? Oh, I have a phobia of being shot in the face. That seems like a pretty good thing to be worried about.
You're most likely to be on a plane more than you are to be shot in the face. However, you can still be scared of that daily too, and that's when you gotta fucking talk to a therapist about. But if you fly a lot,
I will.
Or maybe you just have a fear of heights, like, yeah, the thought of being in just an aluminum tube that just drops randomly. You don't get to glide in, you just drop. Yeah, that's a fear, dude. And
the plane doesn't work for me. I have a fear of heights. If I climb up a ladder, I'm like maybe 8 foot up. and I look down, I can
Yeah,
go, ooh. Whereas ever,
I go.
I'm in a plane, I'm looking out, nothing.
Yeah, I also am in the same situation. Like, I hate being on ladders. I hate going upstairs that like have those gaps in them. I hate being on grates where I can look straight down at what I'm looking at, including the Brooklyn Bridge. However, high rises, I'm fine. Planes, I'm okay. But once upon a time, I was on a plane, and thanks to turbulence, we dropped. I don't know if it was 6 feet. I don't know if it was 60 feet. It was thankfully not a lot, but it was enough to like go, oh my God, we're dropping. And then we stopped dropping and we kept going forward. But everyone understood what was happening here. And it was not a good time. And I thankfully not the biggest bitch on the but we heard someone in the back like, oh God. Like, I was thankfully not that dude, but that still happened. So when we're seeing this movie, Mayday, Extreme Alerta, Colado, Plane. Yeah, it's there's a lot of this is a thriller, dude. It's a good time. There's this might be the scariest movie of 2023. Scarier than Maegan for sure.
What?
So scary, yes.
Hot take.
Once we get on the ground and the plane has survived the entire impact, like not a speck of damage on it, thankfully. We're short some gas in the left wing. We got plenty of gas in the right wing because we couldn't abandon that. But we have successfully landed this plane, but now we don't know where we are. And while Gerard Butler and Mike Coulter go to find where we are and hopefully find a telephone or a radio or someone to contact, guess what? Those warlords are out there, and they're looking for people to kidnap and hopefully sell off. And guess what? Someone gets shot, someone gets beheaded. I don't want to spoil much more, but like, if you're just a random ass person with no skills who's a bitch on airplanes, this is a bad day for you on New Year's Eve. So I don't want to talk much more about this. I don't want to take up any more time. This movie was fantastic. It was better than it had every right being. The name is still the worst part of this whole thing, despite whatever 147 minutes you see of this. I absolutely recommend everybody seeing this. We're giving it a 4 out of 5 stars. And yeah, 2023 starting off strong. Nice. This will not disappoint. If it does, you're a shithead.
I wonder, is there that scene where you talk about the warlords walking around looking for someone to kidnap? Do you reckon there's like 2 of them walking around and one of them's kind of lazy? And he's like, oh, I don't want to keep looking for people to kidnap. And the other one's like, hey, well, we have to keep looking because, these people aren't just going to fall into our laps. And then.
No, we only get the warlord. And he couldn't be
how much of a warlord is he if he's on his own? That's like me saying, I'm the leader of my gang. How many members of your gang? That's just me. Oh, I guess you are the leader then.
Oh, since you asked, Mr. Evan Drake, Evan Dane Taylor, he comes across missionaries every now and then in the Philippine Islands. And I'm sure they have a reconnaissance crew. We didn't get that deep into it. This was literally like, oh shit, these folks literally fell into our lap. Where on the island are they? They have a routine. It's a whole thing. Show us your passport, announce who you are, look into the HD DVT video camera, and we're gonna get that out there. And if we don't get our money in 24 hours, we're murdering your ass. And guess what? Most folks get murdered. So there's a time crunch here. And this was not a disappointing movie. This movie had only this movie could have only been bullshit. But it's good stuff, dude. Check it out. 4 out of 5. Plain.
Just imagine that it's called something else, more imaginative.
Call it Mayday. Call it Extreme Alert. Call it El Palido. The pilot. Extreme Alert.
You're welcome.
Mayday. You're welcome.
So that's going from the scariest movie, 2023, Kush Age's word. And I'm sure everyone now is listening to this thinking, Jesus Christ, my adrenaline's through the roof. I need to calm down. I need to feel good about my life and my existence in this world before I pop myself off to sleep. Well, I'm here to feed you, baby birds. It's now time for this week's Feel Good Story of the week.
That's the coolest fucking story I've ever heard in my entire life. That's insane. Can I hear it again?
Feel Good Story. And this week's Feel Good Story takes place-ish in an Uber car. What?
Oh my goodness.
And also it takes place in this great fair state of New Jersey. So, this Uber driver, Tim Letts, was picking up a fella named Bill Sumiel. Yes, that'll do. So he was picking him up from a medical appointment. I'm assuming it's either from a doctor or hospital, whatever. And he was driving him home in Salem, New Jersey. This Uber ride was over 40 minutes long. And so, you know, they did what anyone else does in an Uber car. They start chatting with the Uber driver, even though normally I stick the old headphones in and I'm like, oh, sorry, I can't fucking hear you. And then, wait, what the hell just happened here? I just pushed a button.
Mm-mm.
Can you hear me? Okay, perfect. Yeah. So, so let's the Uber driver learn that Bill, I'm gonna go Bill, had just been told that he needed to find a kidney donor.
Oh no.
At the end of the ride, Timmy, the Uber driver, said to Bill, and I quote, "God must have put you in my car," and he offered to be his donor. So Bill, the Uber passenger, said that about floored me, he told ABC 7. I was shaking so bad I could barely write his name or number. After undergoing testing, it was determined that Tim Letts, the Uber driver, was indeed a match. And in December, the transplant surgery took place and it was successful. And a year later, Sumiel said that his life is almost back to normal. He wants people who are in similar situations to know, use Ubers. No, he said, there is hope. And said, if he hadn't shared my story with Tim, I never would have gotten a kidney because he would not have known I needed one. That's generally how stories work. The other person doesn't know the story until you tell them the story. Giving a kidney is actually a gift of life, and I feel so fortunate to have that gift. Now, what we have learned from this little feel-good story is that Bill, not a great public speaker, he told that story terribly, quite frankly. But the point is, Tim, shout out to you for being a super nice guy, although it kind of does come across that you were like, just like, you know what? I'm sick of having two kidneys. You seem like very keen to give your kidney away. That was like, you know, I've met several people, spoke to them for 40 minutes, and at no point have I like, you know what? I want to get rid of one of my organs and give it to this guy. This guy seems like he would take care of it. So it's very interesting. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe there's more information that's not in this article because it's like I would never have gotten a kidney if I hadn't told him about it. I mean, you just literally just found out that you need a kidney. Give the system a chance. I don't know. But yeah, still nice story, I guess. Tim,
it's I'm going to say it's law of 100, and you know he's just thankfully he didn't have like 97 other people to ask, 99 other people to ask. Like he just first one right out of the gate, just like, you look like you could give me a new kidney. And the guy was like, yeah, fuck it, why not? What else am I doing? Like, I'm just driving the Uber here, I ain't got nothing else to do. Shit.
And then just as soon as you get after surgery, he recovers, gets back to work. First passenger he picks up. Hey, what's up? My liver's kind of playing up. Oh, fuck off. I'm just really.
I need a lung, homie. I don't suppose you got a lung for me, do you, homie?
Like 3 years later, he's got like one eye. So I just can't stop giving things to people. It's an addiction at this point, I'm pretty sure.
That's an amazing sketch that will unfortunately never be filmed. And if it does, I demand that we get 85% of the royalties.
Yeah. Writing credit for that one. So there you go. Good old Bill Sumiel, still living to this day with his kidney that he got from Uber. He better I hope he left a good tip.
Well, he left a liver. Do
you ever? How often do you are you an Uber man or a Lyft man?
I am an Uber guy, but not because of any specific. Uber was just the first thing introduced to me.
Oh, I'm a savvy kind of. I always compare prices. I go to Uber first, see what they're what's their quote, and I open up Lyft. And do you know what? Sometimes I don't know whether it's this area or whatever. Sometimes, like this, if I'm going from my house in Jersey and I'm going into the city, New York. Sometimes it's like $80 on Uber, and then straight away go on Lyft, and it's like $55. I'm like, what the fuck? All right, sure, I accept your offer. Very bizarre.
So both those are egregious, but yeah, one is definitely cheaper than the other. Jesus Christ, man. Where are you going then? Like your Lyft cars are $55.
Well, because to go into Jersey, from Jersey to Manhattan, you have to pay tolls, and they add that shit.
Wow. Okay. The tolls I get, but damn, $55 still.
Oh, that's on the cheap side, my friend.
That's the cheap side.
Yeah, I did it. I went to New York on Saturday. The Uber itself, the total was around about $66, and then it breaks it down, and it was like actually like the actual Uber ride was like $30, and then the rest of it was tolls and fees and shit. And I was like, what the fuck?
Oh wow. Okay. So Uber is not communicating it better to you. All right. Interesting. Yeah, I think the worst Uber price I've ever had is like $48, and that was from the Oakland Coliseum after a Raider game on Christmas Eve, now Christmas morning.
Oh, that's
back to San Francisco.
How much was that?
And I was just like, yeah, that's what that was going to be. It was like it was close to $50, but like again, it was all those details. It was Christmas Eve. It was a Raider game. It was 1 a.m, 2 a.m, whatever it was. It was going back to San Francisco. Like I understood all those details and was like, whatever it is, I'm gonna pay that. I don't care what it is. But like I remember a time when Uber was just that new hip thing, and then they're like 70% off all fares. So like going from North Beach to Park Merced, you don't understand the reference, Mike Fish, but it's about 7 miles. It's $4. Okay. Bargain alone. No, not the Uber pool, just alone. And it was like, oh, I miss those days. Oh,
do you reckon that one day bring back Uber pool? Because obviously they scrapped that with the pandemic.
No,
but
we still have Uber pool now. However, it's literally pennies of a difference to just driving by yourself. Like, if you want Uber pool, well, I'm just going to round up $20.50. You want to drive
Uber,
and then
sorry, I Uber pooled like twice in my life, and that was just because at the time it was like a pretty significant difference. I was like, oh fuck it, I'll make some friends. Maybe they need a kidney.
I definitely didn't make friends. No,
But,
Uber Pool back in the day used to be like $8, and you might pick up 2 other people because there's the seat next to you and the front seat. And if one of those folks had a guest, then obviously there was less seats. But yeah, I've been in some Uber pools where the chick in the front seat was just like, "So can we go over here?" And then like I got to pick up my dry cleaning, and then like I need to check out. We go 1 block further, and then my dog's pharmacist, he's got a prescription waiting for me. It was like, what? No, no. Hey, there's 2 other people here. You can't just have this guy running your errands. What the fuck? And
take that bitch out of the car.
that's what I said. But even Uber was like, yeah, I don't know what we're gonna do about that. Sorry.
Just slow down, keep moving, open the door.
They should have, but they probably can't say that legally.
PC gone mad.
Anyway, I should check out Lyft, is what you're saying. Okay. Like, there's a comparison
At least
thing.
compare the two. At least compare the two. But my gosh, just talking about, so I'm talking about football games, as I've mentioned many times on this show, MetLife Stadium, where the New York Giants play, also the New York Jets, but whatever. New York Giants play. Mm-hmm. Literally in that direction. I can see it on a clear day. If I go to a game, after that game, I wouldn't even, like the Uber from there, you're looking at easily $80 to $100.
Wow. But I bet it's way cheaper if there's a game not happening that day.
Oh, good Lord, yes, indeed. But then why would I want to go to the MetLife Stadium if there's no game on?
So I've had to go to Chase Arena, and the day before the game is significantly cheaper at any hour than the day of the game, even a few hours after. Like, there's no one left in the arena. It's just housekeeping and TV crew pulling out wires. And then it's 1 a.m. and like, yeah, you still buy Chase. This could be $40 getting home. I'm like, oh, fuck you.
It's a scam. Anyway.
It is, yeah, they run it. They run it.
Before we wrap up this evening's show, or this morning's show, or this afternoon's show, you can listen to this whenever you want. That's the beauty of on-demand podcasts. We do other things, of course. The Giants, New York Giants, are tearing up the NFC East in the playoffs. If you want to listen to my thoughts on that, go to cbbpod.com, CBB Pod, Claret and the Big Blue podcast, where myself and Alex Middleton break down the New York Football Giants' recent victory over the Minnesota Vikings, and also for about 2 seconds we talk about how West Ham are shit and they keep losing. But it's more fun about talking about the New York Giants. Kush, this guy over here, he has his own little podcast thing. It's called the Bosnet. What new content could people find on that at bosnet.family?
I hate to say it, folks. This week we're going to go back into the archives, and I'm going to find something super juicy for you. It's going to literally be around this time period, but probably about 5 years old. So no new episode per se, but it will be new for the Microdose RSS feed.
You know what you should do?
What should I do, Mike Fish?
Riff track your old podcasts.
Ooh. Okay, I'm hearing you. I'm hearing you. Could you help me with that?
You want me to talk shit about you while I'm listening to your podcast?
Yes. Yes, I do.
I mean, I'm sure I would swing it.
Let's talk more after this.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's I'm super interested.
So check that out. Coming soon to bosnet.family. Go to that website. Just go to your internet browser, type it in, www. which stands for World Wide Web. You don't have to type in HTTPS semicolon / if you don't want to. Sometimes the web browser does it for you. It's very nice, very convenient. But there you go.
Sometimes you don't even need an S in the HTTP. It's pretty amazing.
It's like Wild Wild West out there, which also is www. Oh, it's so confusing. Is it Wild Wild Web or Wild Wild West? Is Will Smith gonna come out and save me in this situation,
or slap you?
James
Worst
West
case scenario, slaps you.
She'll be out of that
I must
dress
call
when she
my
beats
chair.
Jim West. Wow, wow, West. We're going straight to the World Wide Web. We're going straight to the World Wide
I
Web.
think my fish is drinking more than I am.
Do, 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 do.
Delightful.
Delightful. Follow me at Only Mike Fish. Follow him at Kush_Hayes. We'll be back next week with episode 82 because that's how numbers work. But until then, take care of yourselves and each other.
That's all, folks.